Dr. Theo Acheampong, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, good morning, and it's good to see
Good.
Ejapa and my friend Eduje.
It's rained in Accra this morning, but it's not as cold as where you are. Tell us what you make of this policy. What's good about it? Is there anything bad about it?
I think there's a lot of good, and then there are some challenges as well with the policy. My idea here is to make suggestions that would improve the policy. Like Ejapa was saying, the idea behind the gold for oil is not a bad one, right? And the reason, which is actually explained, is we have an oil import bill of $4.7 billion. This was as of last year by the data by the Bank of Ghana shows. This $4.7 billion is about 32% of our total import bill. And it's almost as much as we earn, twice as much as we actually earned from cocoa exports at the same time. And if you translate that number down into monthly, Japan said 400, but yes, it's right. It's just about $390 million every month that you need to go and find to be able to support or bring these petroleum products into the market. So the attempt then by the government is that, okay, we want to do two things. The first thing is we want to reduce the pressure on the foreign reserves of the country. And as we speak currently, we know our reserves have significantly dwindled to under 3 months of import cover. Then the second objective is that they want to, according to them, procure these petroleum products at competitive prices, and thereby any savings that are made because of the forex dimension of it would be passed to consumers at the pump. So overall, the objective is quite clear, and you can see the policy intent behind it. But the devil is always in the details, and that's where sometimes some of us come in.
Let's poke its eye.
we offer suggestions in terms of how you can then sort of improve it. So currently, on the FX dimension, we know that they have purchased just about 5 tons of gold, right, so far. And gold is now selling for about $60,000 per kilo. So roughly, you would say we've been able to raise about $300 million through these gold purchases from the small-scale miners. And I'm also being told that we've spent about $200 million or so far on these or supporting these purchases. So roughly about $100 million per month is what has been spent to support the oil, right, purchase. So if you assume that you have a demand of 400 for argument's sake, and then you're now having to save about $100 million out of that, then that's $100 million of forex that otherwise would have been demanded from the Bank of Ghana or from the commercial market, which now is now available to support your reserve. So that's quite a positive in a sense. But where the issue gets a bit tricky is that for a very long time, the BDCs have also said, well, give us a preferential rate and we can still bring these products into the market at a competitive price. That hasn't happened. And then number two, the government also says, like I said, the second policy objective is to bring down price at the pump, right? As we speak currently in the recent pricing window, the gold for oil products that came in are actually selling slightly higher than products that are on the market that the normal BDCs who are not participating in this policy program are doing. And there are a couple of news reports out there. Ejapa can speak to this and correct it if that is not the case. But if you look at the numbers that are out there, petrol, for example, and our gold for oil is selling for about 9.6 cedis a liter. And from the non-good for oil sources, right, your normal BDCs, they are selling it at about 9.1 cedis per liter. So you go almost like a 50 peso difference. You have similar thing with diesel as well. So when the government now comes and claims that, oh, because of good for oil, the price has, dropped from 20 something to about 10 or so, 13 or so cities. Clearly, that cannot be the case because what is driving the price at the local level, which is a function of the international price, and crude oil prices have actually come down a bit. It's a function of the exchange rate. We've seen the exchange rate stabilize relatively. It cannot be the case that all of the drop that we're seeing is fully attributable to this gold for oil policy. So I think a bit of the communication and the PR, which is seeking to make the government look as though it's really because of this policy that prices have dropped, that is not fully the case. And then there are other issues that we need to also, for me, highlight.
Yes,
right?
but is it correct to say that in this attempt, which succeeds in reducing the demand for dollars for oil importation, we are saving $4.8 billion?
We would potentially save 4.8 billion. We are not saving.
Are you reducing your importation or you are saving something? What is it you are saving?
Okay, so I said that we are spending $4.9 billion, right, every year to import petroleum products into the country. Before or hitherto, what you have to do is the BDCs who bring these things have to go to Bank of Ghana or go to the commercial banks to find the dollar to go and bring these products in, right? Now, what the government is saying is that we can, through either a barter or government-to-government arrangement, more or less use gold to pay for that dollar or to settle the dollar which you need to bring the petroleum products into the market.
Yes, so you are reducing the demand for dollar for the importation.
Yes, and therefore the demand that you need for your that you would have needed from Bank of Ghana, right? That pressure for dollars don't necessarily exist. But the point is that we are not going to cut 4.8, 4.7 billion like the vice president is saying. It's not happened yet.
Yes.
That is potentially, if you did or roll out all of this policy 100%, then yes, that could happen. But it hasn't happened yet.
Okay, thank you very much. Please hold it there for me.
The vice president.